It's a good day.
A good day is a good day.
Yeah, I got my computer setup figured out. I'm so happy about that. And I let go of the Hitler mustache too. One of the greatest tips that I got from Tony Robbins is that when in doubt, call your mother. If your mother's still alive and you have a problem, just ask your mother. There's that saying that the customer knows best. The customer is always right. It's not necessarily true, and your mother might not always be right, but your mother knows you in a different way than you do yourself. Being the IT support of your family. I have a lot of young male viewers. I would say aged 14, 18, 20, 21, 22. If you know computers, you probably are your family's IT support. You might be your friend's IT support too. So, supporting whatever computer systems your friends have at fixing the problems that they got. A little bit about the business of tech support. You have to understand that there's a lot of solutions that are sold out there with in mind that people will need some support with this, especially old people. All our family computers are Linux too, by the way. So that's for my mother and that's also for my father. They also use Linux, or I made them use Linux. Linux is great for the home IT support guy when you have to be the IT support to your family. It's great because it's such a low hassle, and when you get to know it, it's much better than with Windows. My parents ask very rarely any advice or anything goes wrong with those Linux systems. It's a good day.
A good day is a good day.
Click subscribe. What about being the IT support for your whole village? Well, you can probably find customers there too. I would say that with Windows operating system, it was made to be that way that people can make money off it. You know, support and all kinds of problems arise that wouldn't even arise on Linux. For a very short while I worked at this store selling computers and all kinds of home appliances, that kind of stuff. And there I realized that holy shit, like with computers and smartphones, this kind of stuff, especially like people bring them to the company and ask for help for very simple stuff. That's what I mean. You can make money out of thin air through this software bullshittery. Okay, then if you want minimum hassle and you want to help your parents or anybody who's illiterate, so to say, with computers and tech to choose devices for themselves, I would say that if you know how to do Linux and you know how to set it up and you know how to support those computers, then do it. But another good option might be something like Chromebooks, because nowadays there's a lot of people out there who really don't need nothing much other than a web browser. iOS devices, they are very, self-explanatory too, kind of intuitive. Old elderly people, they can learn to use them too, and kids learn them at a snap. With companies that use a lot of computers, also with schools, the education system, anywhere there's a lot of computers, offices, there's the IT support or the computer crew. Make sure everything works, smooth sailing. It might be one, two, couple of guys doing it. Next I'm going to tell you about the pain in the ass of leasing computers. Okay, for some fucked up reason, a lot of computers in this world are leased. So the companies and the educational systems or offices, they don't own those computers. They are on a lease and they have to be returned at some point. What we are talking about in a home situation, if you have a couple of computers and you want to put Linux on them and Linux just works and you have to do it maybe update once a year or install it, reinstall it like once in 2 years or something like that, that's nothing. But when you think about deploying a lot of computers, Windows, the Microsoft has figured it out. You just boot off the network and it installs from a server a certain configuration pre-configured. So that's how they do leasing computers. A lot of computers can be set up very fast. That can also be done, by the way, with Linux. You can also install from a network server a Linux operating system, boot from the network card. That's possible, but I have no clue how to set it up on the server side. I would say that using leased computers doesn't make any fucking sense. Here's the deal. Imagine 2 customers or 2 people. The other one knows very clearly what he's going to use the computer for. He has a specific use case scenario, like 3D modeling, video editing, graphic design, programming, gaming, whatever it is. He knows that very clear what he needs to do. He knows very clear what he wants and what he needs to do, but he doesn't know anything about, or not very much about, computer software or how it's going to be achieved. What would be the optimal solution for this? He's the "this is what I want to do, but I don't know the solution" type of person. Understand that there's so many specific type of use cases for computers that an IT support guy, even a very knowledgeable, even a professor about computers, might not know the proper solution for just that use case scenario. You would have to find somebody who is well versed in both the computers and the solutions out there and those use case scenarios, maybe someone who does it himself. Then there's another type of a customer or consumer. It's somebody who really doesn't even know what he wants to do, doesn't even know what he wants to achieve with the computer. A lot of young people, a lot of elderly people are this way. You know, they just figure out what is out there for offer, but mainly what they do is probably dig around on their devices. Probably the best solution if you want to do this right, for example in a company environment, is that you get a specialist or a very knowledgeable person about the solutions out there and about the job that needs to be performed. If those 2 people talk to each other, they can figure it out for you. And it probably won't be too big of an hassle also for you.